But the one time I've ever seen my dad cry, the one time is when March Madness was canceled in 2020 because of COVID.
Dang,
That-
COVID.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Raised on Sports. I'm Reagan, the daughter.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back. I'm Jason, the wonderful father.
We are back for another crazy week in sports. But first, how was your week, Dad?
Week was good. It was Halloween week, so probably not as eventful as yours back there in college world. Let's see. I had the last JV football game on Thursday, and then Halloween night went over to the Adams for our annual Halloween celebration, where we pass out candy at their house because we had one trick-or-treater come to our house. So
That is insane.
I know. So
it's probably not the same that now that we're all older and doing our own things. And
definitely different. I do miss the good old times of walking you guys around the neighborhood and seeing everybody. And I would dress up with you. That was my favorite too. And but yeah, other than that, just kind of hung out and had the last Friday night football game this week. So Tesoro football is officially done for the year. So
did you guys make the playoffs?
We did not make the playoffs. So we are now transitioning, and I am moving into basketball, which I'm very excited about. So
I bet you are.
How about you?
My week was a little more eventful.
I bet.
I
hope so.
Not gonna lie. It was Halloween weekend because it's not just Halloween, it's Halloween weekend here in college.
Of course.
We start on Tuesday and finish on Saturday, and it's a week of events. It was super fun. I always love Halloween, getting dressed up, and it's just, I love it. Even
What'd you wear? What were your costumes?
What was I? I was a sailor. Okay. I was a painter. I was Goldilocks.
Okay.
Nothing too creative, but
no, those are all good ones.
I try. For the painter, I had to paint myself. So it was kind of cool.
Nice.
I liked it.
Nice.
What were you, Dad?
I was nothing. I dropped the ball this year. It was so Halloween. Lame. I know. I ran a school Halloween dance on Wednesday. I had a football game on Thursday. I knew it was Halloween, but I just didn't get my act together this year. I didn't.
No. But one thing that did happen this weekend on Sunday is I became a tour guide for Clemson, which I've been really excited about. The application process is so extensive. There was 5 rounds of interviews, which is actually insane. They said they started with 500 something applications and then narrowed it down to about 60 people. Okay. So I'm really excited. And I tried out last year and didn't get it. So I did it again this year. And we'll kind of talk about that more at the end of the episode about kind of not giving up, trying, perseverance, but got to stay to the end to listen to that. But I'm very excited. So now I'm a Clemson tour guide.
Yay, congrats. So
I've always wanted to do that. But let's kind of dive right into it, Dad.
Yes.
It was another crazy week of college sports. There were 6 or 7 teams in the top 25 that lost.
Yep.
And I think 5 of them were to unranked teams.
Yep. It was crazy weekend. Just when you kind of think, just sports in general, I know we've been always saying this, that sports says, oh, this is the greatest weekend coming up. This is the greatest time of year. And now here we are, the first weekend in November, and sports is alive right now. We have college football, pro football, basketball has begun, hockey's begun, and today is the start of college basketball season. There's not a better time of year to be a sports fan right now.
Can I tell you, I know this is a long ways away, but the one time I've ever seen my dad cry, the one time is when March Madness was canceled in 2020 because of COVID.
Dang, COVID.
That was the saddest day for him, honestly, for everyone in sports, but it was quite funny that he was crying over March Madness being canceled. I know you're excited about college basketball.
I am very excited about college basketball starting. So,
But first, we need to talk about college football from this.
Yeah, great weekend. Great weekend. We had the game of the weekend, Penn State, Ohio State.
Yep. Ohio State won. We both picked Penn State, Dad.
I know.
I was not expecting Ohio State to win. Penn State was up 10-7 the first quarter.
Mm-hmm.
But they just couldn't keep their momentum going, it seemed
like. They didn't score an offensive touchdown. Penn State's only touchdown was on the pick six return in the first half. So that and 2
field goals. I didn't even realize that.
Yeah, so they didn't even score. So I think a lot of credit should go out to the Ohio State defense. Really coming to play. They had a huge goal line stop there in the fourth quarter where Penn State had the ball on the 1-2 yard line and couldn't get it in. And James Franklin is now 1-10 against Ohio State and 1-13 against teams ranked in the top 5. So he can win 10 games a year, but he just can't win the big one. So he's getting a lot of
crazy.
grief.
I did see that Will Howard, the Ohio State quarterback, he's a Pennsylvania native, and he has wanted to go to Penn State his entire life, but just never got that call during recruiting.
Yep.
And so it was like he was dialed in to beat Penn State this weekend when, I mean, he plays for a great school, of course. He's Ohio State, but he was that's the one game he wanted to win this season. And they did.
Yeah.
And now they're 4-1 in their conference. I know Penn State kind of took a hit when it comes to getting to the conference championship, the Big Ten championship, but I don't think it's going to really hurt them for making to the playoffs. What do you think?
I don't know. I think it does hurt them trying to get into the playoffs. Because you're not going to have 3 Big Ten teams. You're going to have
have like 10 SEC teams.
Yeah, well, they're going to have the Big Ten champion, and most likely the Big Ten runner-up, especially if it's like a Oregon-Ohio State game.
Yeah.
I just, unless something happens, Penn State wins out, and there's other teams that lose 2-3 games. I just don't see a third team from the Big Ten getting in.
Okay, so correct me if I'm wrong. Because they're both 4-1 in their conference, and Oregon is undefeated, Oregon's going to make it to the championship. How do they choose between Penn State and Ohio?
So don't forget about Indiana. Indiana's also undefeated right now as well. So that's what a lot of people are talking about. With all these conferences now just going to one division, instead before they would split them up like East, West, whatever. So they're all labeled one, but they don't all play each other. So the tiebreaker scenarios are going to be very, very complicated this year. The first tiebreaker will obviously be head-to-head. So if Ohio State and Penn State do end up tied, let's say, for second place and Oregon's undefeated, well, Ohio State beat Penn State head-to-head, so they would get in. Now, where it gets crazy is if you put a third and even fourth team into that mix, kind of like the ACC, and we'll talk about that in a little bit as well. That's where it gets really, really complicated because a lot of those teams, they just don't play each other. But congrats to the Buckeyes, well-deserved, and they're in a good spot right now. They're in a good spot.
Let's talk about the SEC matchup.
Yep.
With Texas A&M and USC, a huge, huge upset against Texas A&M. They're ranked 10. USC is not ranked. They have not been playing well all year, all season. Yep. And this was a crazy game. It was at USC, and they beat them 44-20. For sure.
It's funny to hear you call them USC because I'm sure that's people in the South. That's all you would know. And now people out here in the West, USC. Well, there is only one USC.
What would you say? South Carolina? You of SC? Don't talk about them.
No, I thought A&M coming off of a huge win against LSU last week. Definitely, just kind of laid an egg. Just couldn't respond after a big win, and really just got handed one. So congrats to the Gamecocks, a big win for them and their program.
Yeah,
Coach Beamer, playing Beamer ball down there, and they did a great job. So
now they're just one away from a bowl game.
Yep.
So we'll see. Hopefully that win's not against Clemson, but that's my bias. But now Texas A&M joins 4 other teams for 1 conference loss.
Yep.
Which is another kind of messy SEC battle. I think it's Georgia, LSU, Tennessee, Texas. All have 1 conference loss.
Yeah.
That crazy upset.
Oh, sad loss. Sad
I don't
loss.
want to talk about because I want it to be overlooked and not everyone talk about it ever again. Was the Louisville at Clemson game. I was there. It was a night game. The energy was high with the fans. The energy was really low with the players for Clemson.
Yeah.
They beat us 33-21. Dabo is 8-0 with Louisville.
I know.
Now 8-1. So, and essentially, we don't lose night games at Death Valley. We don't do that.
I know.
So this was a rough watch.
Yeah, what's really frustrates me, I guess, from a coaching angle is Clemson's coming off of a bye, so you had 2 weeks to prepare, and to me, it just didn't look like they were prepared.
No.
They weren't ready. They came out very, very flat. Like you said, that the electricity in the stands was obvious because that place was going crazy pregame, but down on the field, it just Clemson just did not come to play, and they're in a position where they really can't afford another loss. They need to come out and play every single day, every single weekend, and they just didn't do it.
I mean, I do have to admit the refs were horrible in the first quarter. And I'm not even saying this from a fan. There were so many times where they were replaying a specific moment on the screen to get the ref's attention, like back and forth, like holding. The pass interference was not a pass interference. There was so many times. I think we did an onside kick and we got the ball. We literally got the ball, but they gave it to Louisville, and then they went and scored.
Yeah.
So just those little decisions really changed the game, and they made kind of the Clemson team, their spirits were down.
Yes.
Like it really changed up everything. I don't think the coaching was good. Even like Dabo not going for 2 at the very end when we did score was a bad decision, I think. And then we started throwing water. Well, I wasn't there. I left in the middle of the fourth quarter because I was just sad and wanted to cry and didn't want to see the rest of the game. But once I left, they were throwing water bottles on the field, which is not like Clemson. We are not classless, and it was just looked not like us. The whole game was just not like us. The way we played, the fans throwing water bottles on the field, just the energy in the stadium. That was not a Clemson game right there.
Yeah, well, we'll see how they'll respond. I mean, it's not over. It's definitely slim, but it's not over. So we'll see how they respond and, see what they're made of.
We can cross our fingers for sure.
Let's go.
But next we have another upset.
Yeah.
Iowa State, Texas Tech.
Yeah.
Iowa State was undefeated.
Yes.
This was their first loss. Texas Tech beat them 23-22 just because a last kind of touchdown drive in the fourth quarter brings them up 1 point, and then Iowa State couldn't answer.
Yeah.
It was
a good game, exciting game. Again, another ranked opponent loses, an undefeated team goes down. It's going to happen. We're into that time of year right now where it's just crazy. It's crazy football. Things happen. You don't know what to expect. So congrats to Texas Tech, and Big 12 is alive.
Big 12 is alive for sure. But lastly, we need to talk about Pitt and SMU.
Yeah, 2 ranked teams.
2 ranked teams, ACC matchup, new to the ACC, both of them, which is interesting.
Both were undefeated in league.
Yep, undefeated. We both picked SMU, and we were correct. They beat them 48-25. They were saying, and I kind of noticed, SMU played very fast.
Yes.
Like very quick to the ball, very quick starts, and Pitt just kind of couldn't keep up with their playing and playtime. SMU is now 5-0 in the ACC. Yeah, Pitt was undefeated, and this was their first loss.
Yeah, it was a good game. You're right about SMU and their speed. They like to play fast, as they say. They like to run many up to 80 plays a game. So they play fast. So this is kind of what I was talking about the tiebreaker scenarios in those other leagues. So you'll have SMU and Miami are both undefeated. So I guess as long as they keep winning, they're going to be 1-2 and into the ACC championship. But then you have a Pitt with one loss. You have a Clemson with one loss. So for something happens where, let's say, Clemson kind of wins out and ends up with one loss, and SMU stumbles somewhere and gets a loss, SMU and Clemson never played each other. So you can't go head to head. So it's going to be some weird tiebreaker. I don't know what it is. Common opponents or something. So a lot of these conferences, like I said, are going to be in weird situations if there's ties. It will all get unveiled tomorrow night, ironically on election night. Our very first college football playoff ranking show will be live. So every Tuesday from here on out for the rest of the season, at least the month of November, we can see kind of where teams fit, and they're going to release the brackets tomorrow. So looking forward to that.
Yeah. And I mean, who knows? Just like this week, we had so many upsets. It's going to be changing every single week. Honestly, tomorrow's bracket unveiling is not going to be accurate, but it's a good indicator.
You know what else kind of got overlooked in the past week was the World Series.
Oh yeah, I kind of forgot about that.
We have a World Series champion. Congratulations, Los Angeles Dodgers beating the Yankees in 5 games.
Yeah.
It was a good, exciting final game, and Freddie Freeman named MVP.
Yeah.
Really happy for him. Great job. They had the parade out here on Friday. So there was a lot of parade talk around Southern California here. So
I bet. I know everyone here at Clemson is all Yankees fan because a lot of people at Clemson are from New York or New Jersey or kind of that surrounding area. And so they're all huge Yankees fans. So when we were watching it in the bar, it was always on like very late at night. Everyone was so sad. Like everyone was just so defeated in the bar when the Dodgers kept beating them. Did you see though? It was like a huge thing when Shohei Ohtani kind of had a little speech at the end. Because no one knew if he like really spoke English or not.
Yeah.
But he was so cute and happy, and he didn't play his very best in the World Series, but good thing Freddie Freeman kind of took it over for him.
Freeman play, that's for sure.
He scored a home run in every game, at least one, right?
Except the last game, but he did break the record in 6 straight World Series games, dating back to when he played for Atlanta.
Oh my gosh!
So. Yeah.
Well, I'm really happy for the Dodgers. I know you're not a huge Dodgers fan, but
happy for
I'm happy for Shohei Ohtani that he finally got his World Series championship.
Yeah. Sad to see him leave the Angels, but I'm very happy for him. And then we had NFL on Sunday.
Oh yeah, NFL. That was yesterday.
Yep, that was yesterday. So a lot of games. We had let's see, Bills winning on a last-second field goal. We had a very exciting Rams-Seahawks game up in Seattle. Rams winning in overtime on a touchdown.
Going back to the Dolphins and the Bills, it was a 61-yard field goal, and that broke the longest of his career and the franchise record by 2 yards.
Yes, and did you see the actual kick? It could have gone another 5-7 yards.
Yeah, it was. He hauled that thing.
Yeah, it was a good kick.
61 yards.
That's fine.
That's a long.
Remember, Thanksgiving week, we're going out and you got to kick a 30-yarder. So.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that. Okay. I got to start training now.
Panthers got their second win as well. So that was happy for them.
I mean, the Saints and Panthers now have a record of 2-7. So.
Yep. Yeah, they're not very good, but they got the second one.
It's okay. Proud of the Panthers.
And then we have Chiefs and Buccaneers tonight on Monday Night Football.
Yeah, I'm excited to see that. I feel like NFL have kind of been overlooking NFL this year just because I'm so invested in college football and kind of everything else going on. But it hasn't been that exciting. I also don't have a fantasy team, so I'm not like so
truly invested
in what my players are doing.
Yeah.
How's your fantasy team though?
I lost this weekend to the number one team, Ram. My buddy Matt Poston. Shout out to you. Congrats on the win this week.
I know we mentioned it earlier. College basketball starts today, Monday, November 4th.
4th.
Is it 4th today?
Yep.
Yeah, November 4th it starts, and I'm actually working our first men's basketball game tonight.
Oh, fun.
Clemson.
Yeah, looking forward to it. We got should be a great year of college basketball. Kansas is preseason ranked number 1. I know there's a lot of talk about Duke right now.
Duke should be great this year.
With Cooper Flagg.
Yeah.
You're going to hear that name a lot this basketball season. So real excited.
I'm excited to watch some college basketball. Let's get all riled up. Do you see behind you, Dad?
Yes, I do. We're right here.
We had all the same picks last week. We went 3-2. 3-2. Yeah. Yep. We had SMU, Oregon, and Tennessee winning, and we lost Clemson and Penn State.
I will still take my 17-4 record.
That's actually very impressive. What is it, week?
That's through 10? 4 weeks. So.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
So let's pick them this week. What games we're picking from?
First, we have UGA Ole Miss for our picks of the week. UGA is ranked 2. Ole Miss is ranked 16. This is an SEC matchup. UGA is 5-1 in their conference.
Yep.
7-1 altogether. They also, I do have to note, they play Tennessee next week. So they have Ole Miss, Tennessee right back to back.
Okay.
Which is something to note. They beat Texas, lost to Bama. Ole Miss is 3-2 in their conference and 7-2 altogether. But this is their last pretty much game of the season. I think they play like Mississippi State in Auburn, maybe. Okay. I don't know. But last hard game of the season. Which is interesting. Who you got, Dad?
Yeah, this is a very, very tough game. I think I'm going to learn my lesson from last week's pick when I picked Penn State to beat Ohio State at home, kind of knowing that Ohio State's the better team, and maybe I just didn't really like Ohio State as much, so I picked Penn State. I am learning from my lesson. And as much as I want to pick against Georgia and pick the home team and Jackson Dart throwing the ball all over the place, I'm going with Georgia.
Okay, I'm going to pick the same. Georgia is a dominant team. They're now ranked 2. They've proved themselves in the SEC. While from beating Texas, they are the more dominant team. They're the stronger team. I think you said UGA is at home. It's at home.
No, it's at Ole Miss. It's at Ole Miss because Georgia has the home game against Tennessee next week.
Okay. Yes.
So it's at Ole Miss.
I don't think it's going to be an easy win for Georgia.
No way.
But they should win.
You're sticking with it?
I'm sticking with Georgia.
Okay.
But it's going to be hard having an away game against Ole Miss. Okay. Noted. Write it down, Dad.
It's in. Georgia.
Next, we got Michigan, Indiana, a Big Ten matchup. Indiana's ranked 8 right now.
Yeah, undefeated. Undefeated. Get Michigan at home. So it should be a good game. Hey, there's nothing to say right now at this point. You got to go against Indiana. So they are rolling right now.
Yeah.
They're just playing hard. They're playing for something. They still have to go visit Ohio State
next week.
It's either next week or the week after.
No,
so that'll be next week. So they could be looking ahead a little bit, but I just think they're just too young and they have too much firepower. So I will be taking the Hoosiers and Indiana.
Okay. Yeah, sorry, Dad. I do have to agree with you. Indiana has been great the entire season. I don't think Michigan is going to be the one to kind of slip up that undefeated record. Maybe Ohio State next week, but we'll talk about that next week. See how they played this week against Michigan. Michigan is not the team they were last year.
No.
Clearly.
They have no offense. They have no offense.
I don't think there's going to be any chance that Michigan wins. So I'm picking Indiana.
All right.
Let's go 10-0, Indiana. 7-0 in the Big Ten.
What else?
Write it
Anything
down.
else? Got it.
We got Bama game.
Oh, good game.
Which is another
sneaky good game.
game, actually. SEC matchup again.
What is that, like 11 versus 13?
14.
Yeah.
Now, it's Bama's last hard game, but LSU just lost to Texas A&M, and then they had a bye. So hopefully unlike Clemson, hopefully they're using their bye to practice for 2 straight weeks, because this game is going to be a crazy game. Is game day there? Do we know?
No. Yes, they are. Yes, they did select Baton Rouge. They'll be down in LSU. So, I think this is a game where both teams have the 2 losses overall. So I would pretty much almost say the loser of this game can officially say they will not make the college football playoffs. So with that being said, I am going to, I don't even know what the spread is on this game. I don't know who's favored. It's probably close to a pick 'em. So this is it. This is it.
This is the game that will determine who
has a chance and who's going to be going to some random bowl game that nobody cares about anymore. Oh my gosh, this is a coin flip.
How about this? I'll pick first.
Okay.
I'm picking LSU.
Okay.
It's at home for LSU. They're both going to play very hard. I don't think it's going to be a close game. I think this is also my biased opinion. I want Bama to not make it to the playoffs.
Yeah, sure.
But I think LSU is a good enough team to beat Bama, and let's have them win.
Since you went LSU, I was leaning LSU too, but because we are so competitive and I want to either say pull away from you farther or give you a shot of catching me, I will go Alabama.
All right.
I will go strictly Alabama because you picked LSU.
Okay. We'll see who wins.
All right.
Finally, a big game for the weekend for the state of Utah. BYU against Utah, the Utes.
Yep. Rivalry.
Undefeated.
Yep.
5-0 in the Big 12. Utah's 4-4.
Yep.
In the Big 12. Utah was great in the beginning of the season. They won 4 games in a row. They were ranked high.
Yeah, they had a lot of injuries. Yeah, no, they were ranked and they had injuries. Yep. Quarterback's been hurt off and on all year. So Cam Rising is the guy, but he's been out. So big game for BYU. It is on the road against obviously their crosstown rival, the state of Utah.
Yep. And Utah has, for the next 3 weeks, they have BYU, Colorado, and Iowa State.
So 3 very big games.
3 hard games in a row.
I'll start it off, and I'm just going to say I think the Cougars keep it rolling.
I agree.
They are balling right now and on their way to a Big 12 championship. So I will take BYU.
I'm going to take the same. Maybe if Utah was all healthy and they had all their players back and running, maybe they could win. They could take this, but I don't think they have the facility for that in this part of the season. So that's all we're picking. We only have 4 games.
4 hard games. Those are you got some tough games right there.
Yeah, it's gonna be a week. It's gonna be a fun week, and I'm excited to watch. I think what we want to talk about for a little personal lesson of the day, we kind of mentioned in the beginning, is perseverance. And my parents always raised me like never give up. Everything happens for a reason. Like I said, I tried out for tour guides last year. I made it to the final round. And last year, still this year, I've always wanted to be a tour guide at wherever college I wanted to go to. Last year, I didn't get it, and I was upset. I was so sad. I was crushed because I made it to the final round out of 5 rounds and then got cut.
Mm-hmm.
And I wasn't going to try out again this year because I was so mad about last year and just upset. But you and Mom were like, Reagan, you've always wanted this. Just give it another shot. If you don't get it, it wasn't meant to be. You're not supposed to be a tour guide. Honestly, you probably don't have time for it. with all the other stuff you're doing here at Clemson, but
Yep.
just try. And I did, and now I'm a tour guide. So excited.
Yay, congrats. So yeah,
Thank you.
that's real happy for you, real proud of you, sticking with it. Yeah, that's something we've always tried to instill in all you girls. Don't give up. Don't take no for an answer. Don't if something if you try something at first, you don't succeed, try again, they always say. So if it's something you truly are passionate about and you believe in and you want it that bad, keep going for it. So real happy, real proud of you. But yeah, that's definitely a quality that we tried to instill at an early age, even way back to the the early sports days and early dance days. Just not giving up.
I know one thing Mom would always say, no offense, Dad, but like always reach out, always go for it, always do it, because what is the worst they can say?
Sure.
Is no.
Sure.
That's the worst they're gonna say. They're not, okay, you don't get it, that's fine. Try again next year or on to something else. So
you're going to you what is it? You receive more rejection in life than you do acceptance.
I feel like I realized that in college more than anything.
Yeah, and you're gonna unfortunately, I hate to say it, but you're gonna receive it even more going forward, especially in the profession that you want to be in. So, but you're learning every time when something doesn't go well or doesn't go the way you thought or wanted it to.
Like you said, in my profession, there's going to be a lot of people saying no, so I kind of have to reel that in. And I think that experience in college is going to help me be more okay with rejection in the future. You and Mom always say rejection is just redirection.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I'm glad I can take those lessons in to my future career. But yeah.
Good job. Congrats. I'm proud of you for sticking it out and going for it. And you're going to be a great tour guide.
Thanks. You guys have to tag along. I guess you can do this. My friend Avery did it because she's a tour guide now. When her parents come and visit, she like schedules a tour for that Friday, and they can tag along. Or like even with Irish, like look at my colleges, you can just like tag along to one of my tours and watch me give one.
Perfect. I'll be that person in the back that asks those random questions.
No, please don't. You can't distract me if I'm doing it. But it would be fun for you guys to tag along. But I think that's all we have, Dad.
All right. All right.
Another week of Raised on Sports. I'm Reagan.
I'm Jason. Thanks for tuning in, guys.
Have a good week, Dad. Love you.
Love you, Ray.
Bye.